In Florida, even if you are sentenced to death for murder, it will be a long time, if ever, before you see the execution chamber. Now, more than half of those on death row may have their sentences reviewed, including the killer in the notorious case here on the Suncoast. Kate Flexter is here to explain. Kate.
Thanks, Alan. To be clear, there's no chance this killer's conviction will be reversed. The question is his sentence. Will he receive the death penalty or life in prison?
When he's executed and, I get to go up there and watch him, then that'll be my closure where I feel like she's been set free.
Now, the stepfather of Carly Bruscia may never have that closure. It was February of 2004 when the Sarasota girl went missing. The case drew national attention after surveillance video showed a man named Joseph Smith taking the 11-year-old from behind a car wash on Bee Ridge Road. After days of searching,
we have found Carly and the person responsible for her murder.
Her body was found in a wooded area behind a Sarasota church. The spot now a memorial. Pastor Rod Myers remembers it vividly.
We had surveyed our property just to check and see if she was here, and we didn't see her, and so we were very surprised when she was discovered here.
The world watched as Smith was found guilty of abducting, raping, and killing Bruscia. He was sentenced to death. Now, more than a decade later, he's still alive in prison and is appealing his sentence before Sarasota County Judge Andrew Owens. Smith argues his death sentence should be reversed because of a change to Florida's sentencing law.
This has pulled this back up into people's lives now, and they have to think about it again.
Last year, the U.S. Supreme Court declared Florida's death penalty sentencing requirements unconstitutional. Then a new sentencing law was passed and struck down by the state Supreme Court. In March, Governor Scott signed a new law requiring a unanimous jury recommendation to impose the death penalty. That means hundreds of death row inmates can appeal their sentences, including Smith.
There was no question that Joe Smith was guilty. No question at all.
Ron Krusel was the jury foreman in Smith's trial. 13 years later, he still stands by the decision.
You had to see the pictures. You had to realize the life that was taken and how it was taken. I will use the word heinous, evil.
The jury unanimously agreed on Smith's guilt. However, when it came to sentencing, 10 jurors voted for death, while 2 voted for life in prison. The vote was not unanimous.
I would ask the court to exclude that testimony.
Adam Tabrouge was the lead defense attorney on the case when it went to trial. He says the split vote is reason enough to revisit the case.
It appears almost certain that Mr. Smith's death sentence will be reversed and his case will be remanded back to Sarasota County.
Many people close to the case support keeping Smith on death row, including State Attorney for the 12th Judicial Circuit, Ed Brodsky, who said in a statement, quote, "We've made our arguments and hope the sentence will remain in place." Tabrouge says it's the duty of the justice system to revisit each and every case that was not recommended by a unanimous jury.
The state of Florida has been making this mistake in case after case, and it resulted in 400 people on death row. I think that the mistakes have to be fixed.
But Krusel feels certain it was not a mistake.
Joe Smith will die, whether he dies in prison or whether he dies on a table with IVs in his arm. He's going to die. And at that point, he'll be faced with what he's done in his life, just like we all are.
This is not the first time Smith has appealed his sentence. 2 prior appeals were both denied.
Kate, thank you.